This is section 9.8a, factoring by grouping, part 2. As we thought on page 1, we want to start our problems by trying to see if there's a GCF between all four terms. In this case, between 2w cubed, w squared, 18w, and 9, there's no GCF. And so we're going to look at these and we're going to try to determine of the first two, is there a GCF? Well, once again there is, and it's w squared. W squared times what is 2w cubed plus w squared? Well, w times 2w plus 1 is our first part. Now we put down our box and our remaining 2w plus 1. We say to ourselves, what's going to go in our box? The easy way to think about that is to say negative 9 divided by 1 is what? Well, that's negative 9, and that's what goes in our box. Now, as we look at our problem, we have to consider the w squared and the minus 9 are the parts that are going to be coming out as our factors in the front. So w squared minus 9. Our 2w minus 1 is what's left on the back half. Now we consider what we have to go from here. We need to consider and look, does either of our two parts continue on? The w squared minus 9 does, because that's the difference of two squares. If you remember, the difference of two squares very simply says both are going to be a square and there's going to be a subtraction sign in between. And so the w squared minus 9 factors to w plus 3 times w minus 3. And then we bring down the 2w plus 1, and that's our final answer. Now let's look at problem 4. We look at all four parts, and once again we try to determine, is there a GCF that goes into all four of these? In this case, between 6x to the 4th, 4x cubed, 12x, and 8x, there is a GCF, and that GCF is 2x. I'm going to put a large brackets, and inside that is going to be what I have left. That's going to be 3x cubed plus 4x squared, not 4x squared, 2x squared, minus 6x minus 4. I now look at my inside part. Once again, I'm going to write down the 2x out front as we start our problem. Let's focus on these inner two parts, these first two terms. Between 3x cubed and 2x squared, our GCF now is just an x squared. What's left on the inside is 3x plus 2. I put down my box and my 3x plus 2 at the back. And now I say negative 4 divided by positive 2 is negative 2, and the negative 2 is what goes in the box. Now I try to write down my answer. It may be my final answer, it may be a temporary answer. The 2x comes down first, then I have a 3x plus 2 and an x squared minus 2. Now I'm going to examine each of my three parts. This x squared minus 2 at the back looks fairly suspicious. It looks like the difference of two squares. However, it's the difference of a square and just a number. And so this does not factor, and this is my final answer. Our square for today is 24 squared. As we finish our squares up and we're going to 24 and 25, remember to continue to work on those. 24 squared is 576.